So we got some algae in the 55 on this glass pane only, I think. But anyway, like I said in my last video, this is an algae making machine. You can see how they have all the colors on that light. What I like is the snails actually are doing some work on it. You can see the patterns they're carving out of this algae on the back wall. Basically what happened was there was a filter I had on here, hang on back, and some gunk got just discharged. And I kind of left it because it starts the cycle, and you can tell because of the algae, like there is ammonia, nitrite, or nitrate in this tank, which is good for cycling the tank. So I'm not too worried about it at this point. I am, though, going out of town for a few days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a big water change, get all the gunk out, and probably move this plant to another tank and unplug this lights so I don't have a crazy algae farm when I get back. Okay, so I removed the light, about a 75% water change. Didn't scrub the algae, probably should have, but did have a lot of time. Most of the gunk has been removed. Another very important thing, I'm going to have someone stay in here, take care of the dog and fish stuff, the feeding of the fish. This is what I'm feeding them, and I basically kind of drew them a map of the fish room, top level, bottom level. Luckily, like half the tanks don't have any fish, so I don't think it'll be too complicated. I fed just normally today. I'm going out of town today. Not anything too crazy. And then tomorrow, they're not going to be fed. This is the feeding schedule. So the idea is not to feed too much. You don't want to deal with algae or a ammonia boon or anything like that. So just feed normally. So I was trying to keep it light with the tanks, and I have a tank number assigned and which days to feed. These show, like for example, this 8 1-pinch cobalt spirulina flakes on this tank. And I think I did that one, tank 8, most of the days, since there's some baby fish in there too, and it's planted and there's snails, so I'm not too worried about overfeeding that tank. So you got to be strategic when you set these up for someone who's not really a fish keeper, so that they don't overfeed.
Just got back from vacation. All the tanks look good. I'm just water changing right now.
I'm doing the 55 up here.
But some of these fry are now old enough to sex. This one is a male. If it'll focus. It's because basically they have a skinny fin under their belly, and that's how you can tell it's a male. So this is a young one, so I can go ahead and move that to the male tank, this one, and then whatever females come out of here, I'll move them into the female tank. So I'm going to go ahead and move this one so that this one doesn't get the females pregnant, or whichever one's developing here.
Just finishing up a water change up here on the 75 community.
I got this wood, this little piece of wood to sink. I found it outside, and it took about 2 weeks for it to sink. Also, this piece of wood went in at about the same day. It's been more than a month, and it still hasn't sunk, but it's getting close. So that'll be great for gluing Java ferns or Anubias onto it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue an Anubias onto this one. Got the Anubias glued on one of the roots there. So hopefully it'll latch onto that piece of wood. And then I do gotta get another piece of wood for the other piece of Anubias that I have. So that's a mosquito larva that I just threw into this tank. This is the baby and female guppy tank. So here's one of the ponds I have outside. It's just you get at the big box gardening store. So I drill these so that the water doesn't overflow. So if that'll focus, you can see there's wiggling food for my fish. Now these are all either bloodworms or mosquito larvae. So I'm going to go ahead and take this net and see if I can catch some food. Try to do the top first, because some of them like to hang out at the top, then I go a little bit lower. But you also pick up some of the gunk. So I'm going to go ahead and add this aquarium soil to one of the 55s. Never really used aquarium soil before, so we'll see what happens. It looks like they're just these little pellets. Okay, I dumped it all in there. It doesn't really seem like enough. I was thinking about adding pea gravel and maybe some organic soil to this. Not sure yet, but I'll spread it out. See if I can plant some of these floating plants in there and see if it looks good. Okay, so I put some of the water sprite, or I planted some of the water sprite. Probably going to add more tomorrow, and looks pretty good. And I also got this little tiny pogo stemon planted as well. I think it was probably a little bit easier than just planting with aquarium gravel, so we'll see how it goes. It's interesting. I normally don't like unboxing videos, but I was really excited about this one. I ordered from Aquabites some shrimp, and let's see how they were packaged and how they turned out. Uh-oh. I might need two hands to get this out. Oh. So it looks like they took a lot of care in order to keep the temperature constant throughout the trip. I think these were from Indiana. Oh, there they are. Red cherry shrimp. These are supposed to be Bloody Marys, but, you know, we'll see. So I ordered 30 of them, and I'll count them in a minute. They all looked all right in the bags. They were also double bagged, which was also really thorough in the shipping process. But so for Acclimation, I got them in this 1 gallon jug, and I got this airline tubing that I created a siphon with, and then I tied a knot right here so that it's dripping slowly. Might be a little too fast, but we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to do it slow. Also, this tank has been set up for more than 6 months, and that's what you need in order to ensure that the shrimp are healthy. Because if you introduce them to an already cycled tank, but if it hasn't been running for a long time, it doesn't have any of the little microorganisms that they kind of thrive off eating. So we'll see how this goes. Quick update on the shrimp. They seem to be doing well. Here's one of them right here on this leaf. Seems to be doing well. They look pretty good. They're a little small, but when they get bigger, they'll be a lot easier to focus on. Here's one of them. I'm assuming it's a female since it's very red, but the males should also be fairly red too. This is supposed to be a quality strain or whatever. But yeah, they're mostly hide, or they're just so small that I can't see them. Under that anubias, there's a piece of driftwood the anubias is attached to, and there's also moss growing on it as well. Can't get it too well because of the reflections. But yeah, so far they're hiding, but they're probably around, and I'm just not seeing them because they're so small. Quick update on the 35. A lot of the plants got uprooted. See, this pogo stemon is about to do that. I don't know if I went over this earlier, but I did try to kind of attach this anubias to this sponge. But all the other plants are doing okay. I'm thinking the ones that float, I'm just going to try planting them here. They seem to stay down better because the gravel's different. Also, I wanted to do an update on this guy. I think this is Penguin Tetra. but his back fin has kind of been nipped. Don't know if you all could see it. So anyway, his back fin got nipped pretty bad. So I brought him to this tank so that he could be safe. I'm not sure. Maybe the Congo Tetra got to him, or he wasn't fast enough for the Congos. They're pretty vicious. Like, I threw a guppy in there, like a small one, as a coal. And there are guppies that are in the rockwork or the decorations that are doing well. But this one wasn't a very good swimmer, and these Congo Tetras just tore it up. It was very violent, actually. So I'm going to be careful what I throw in here with these guys. So this Anubias I had in the 75-gallon community tank. Oh, looks like we got some algae on the bottom here. That's interesting. Keep an eye on it. There's very few plants in this tank, so it's makes sense that there's algae, and we have this light on it, and there's a fish. But anyway, so about this Anubias, it has blackbeard algae. Not sure if that's showing up well. Blackbeard algae is starting on that stem right there. Focus. Anyway, there's a little bit of blackbeard algae starting on that stem, so I brought it in here so it could be away from the other plants, and I'm going to treat with hydrogen peroxide. For some people, hydrogen peroxide always works all the time, but for some people, it kills everything, including the algae. So I don't want to kill this plant. I think it has something to do with your water chemistry on how well it works or not. But I saw some things online that I'm going to give it a try. So basically what I did was, and I couldn't record it because I didn't have enough hands, but I picked this up out of the water to where I had it above the water, and I just poured some of this on the area and then quickly submerged it. I don't think with my water it's a good idea to keep it exposed for a long period of time to hydrogen peroxide. It tends to kill the plants. But I made sure to hit that spot right there. That's the biggest spot on there, and we'll see what happens. It could kill the plant, but at least I'll know not to do this in the future. So I pulled these guys out of the 75. These are the gold white clouds, the red finage. I thought I had 4, but maybe I wasn't able to catch that one. They actually weren't that bad to catch, but so I'm gonna move these guys outside so I can hope to breed them. And the way you set these up is you just have basically a container of water and just static, let it sit. Green water's better. This one's a little bit green, but not really. And they'll feed on a lot of bugs in here. And I pull them out probably around Labor Day, whenever it starts getting cold. But these are cool water fish, so they should be fine if there's some temperature fluctuations. But you can see there's tons of bugs in there. It's also good not to have snails because they will eat the eggs if you're trying to breed outside. And also I won't have to feed them, so that'll be nice. They'll have plenty to eat on in here. Also, I like to keep these panels on it to keep like predators from coming in and trying to take the fish. Have that problem with raccoons and cats, and birds will do the same thing as well. Like, I've literally seen a bird just nosedive and just hit the top of it, like, really hard. That was probably when it was clear and they could actually see what was in there, but these are kind of dirty. This also is good to keep temperatures from fluctuating too much, and it helps a little bit with evaporation.